Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next episode review of Solo Leveling, Season 2, Episode 2, or overall Episode 14. So, already badass episode, already. Just straight out. I mean, immediately, the first thing we see is after Jinwoo defeats the polar bears, he immediately makes them part of his shadow army. Badass at his best, and then facing off with the leader of the ice elves, and then facing off all the rest of his people, and then gets his shadow army, knights and polar bears. And when he's fighting with Jinwoo, and then I guess his name is Kim, the A rank leader, supposedly leader of the group who left his guys for dead, and he comes in. He sees the other guys, the lower ranks, just goes up to a fire eating. He's like, "Where'd you go?" So his thing is it's Jinwoo did all this, so he kept everything from me. I'm gonna get him, And then when he sees when he's fighting, he's like, I'm gonna get you for this, basically. And then, amidst all this, he kills him. Straight out kills him. And then the next badass thing he does is that he makes him part of his shadow army. So after he immediately kills him, he immediately makes him his shadow puppet now, And he calls him Iron, or is it Iron? His name is Iron, but I'm gonna just call it Iron. So immediately he just resurrects him pretty much to make him his bitch, basically. He's like, "Hey, your name is." He even gives him the fingers, like, "Hey, your name is Iron. You do as I say, basically. You're mine for eternity now." That is just complete. That's complete. It's badass at the same. It's badass as I have to say that, So, and the Red Knight, Icarus, standing next to him. But overall, the fight was really well done. What was it? Production was top notch, as say, nonetheless, as usual. Him fighting with the leader, and of course, it drains a lot of mana at him using the shadow army, and then meanwhile, back on the other side of the Red Gate, the one brother that who wants to kill Jinwoo, it starts to get a fight with the other officials because he's getting impatient, and they also starts fighting him. But the guy just intervenes, like, "Hey, not this time. Basically, not the time to do this, And then, but then he leaves though eventually, and then afterwards. And then meanwhile, eventually when he does, when everything is done, when the boss is defeated, when the rest of the team comes out of the gate, they're like, "Where's Kim?" And then there's the two other hunters, and then the E-rank hunter that was accompanied with Jinwoo, and then the gate closes. It's like, what? Only the lower rank survived? I mean, after this, and then the one official with the red hair was asking questions. He just goes and grabs Jinwoo by the shoulder and say, "Hey, I got questions. What about what happened?" And then Jinwoo gives him his stare. It's like, "Hey, I brought two of your team come back. I brought two of your team members back. At least you can do is to thank me." And the guy's like, "You're right. I'm sorry. Thank you." I mean, there's no chance that these people question that there's something up with Jinwoo, right? He's not just an E rank. They don't question that anymore. I mean, just like they questioned him in the last season, how maybe he's reawakened. So there's no question that they're suspect that he's not what he appears to be anymore. He's no longer an 8E rank where they suspected how he was, The other ones were watching him from but what they were watching that battle from behind the tree. They're like, wow, this is insane, you know. So yeah, but there's no question about that. So I just this is the funniest part is that just he just killed when he just kills that A rank, you know, who was about to go get him, you know. It's like, hey, and then just immediately just resurrects and makes him part of his shadow army, making him his bitch, you know. That's pretty much what it is. Because even after when the fight was done, he just continues. Iron, he calls him now. He's on slamming the boss. And he's like, hey, that's enough now. And he was like even kind of looking at Icarus, the Shadow Knight, you know. It's like even the more what he says when we calls him, you're now one. Your name is Iron now. Even he has that face like a little bit of resistance of hearing that though, because that was him. Because so even that little part was funny too. And then afterwards, he drives that girl home, and then the next thing he gets picked up by his buddy from before, and he also takes the girl with him. It's like for the guy's name who was his buddy. It's like hey, he sees that she's like kind of like happy being with him, and he gets the idea is like, Jinwoo, she's underage, and he's like, so, he's like, oh, there's nothing. So, yeah. So this but episode 2 of season 2, it was just top notch once again. There's very little I expect from the show to be that still that great. You know, I mean, I haven't seen this as no flaws in the show at all. You know, for what I see. I mean, just been 10 out of 10 each time I've seen this. You know, and it just shows how Jinwoo. It's no doubt that he's gonna become the most powerful hunter of all time. You know, he may even surpass even the best of the ones that we've seen, like in these organizations. You know, the ones that say they retire and all that. There's no doubt he's gonna become more powerful than them, and he's even let alone he's gonna be the best mass murderer of all, because with his army he can just eliminate anybody. You know, let alone with his own skills alone. So. There's no doubt he's going to be like the best of everybody in this series. So, but yeah, episode 2 of season 2, or 14, 10 out of 10 once again. So, it just killing him and resurrecting him to make him pretty much his shadow bitch. I can't get around that though. I just find that's hilarious and badass at the same time. I just can't get around that scene, you know. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next movie review, and we'll see you next time. Later.